The first concept you must grasp in order to achieve great things is that you cannot do it alone. You must be willing to ask for help from friends, family, and associates. However, when it comes to family, do not be surprised if they are slow to accept your goals and aspirations. There have been arguments made for not disclosing personal goals with family, either because they may try to steal your dream or they will tell you it just won't work. Whether you decide to include your family or not entirely depends on your personality and the level of comfort you have with your family. Remember, while you may love your family dearly, they are not your business partners in most cases. If you are the type of person who is easily defeated by the opinions of others, then you will want to avoid sharing your goals lightly. When considering the type of business person you are, you may fall into one of two groups. 1. Those who are motivated to prove people wrong. On the surface, this sounds negative, but it isn't. Trying to show people what you are made of may work for you. If you are the type of person that excels in the face of adversity, then you will get great pleasure out of proving your critics wrong. 2. Those who are motivated by sticking to their word. In fact, telling people your plans can be an excellent way to motivate yourself. You don't want to appear as though you cannot follow through. Some people don't succeed because they keep their dreams to themselves. This way, if they fail, nobody knows. Conversely, not everyone will face such a negative response. If you know the people around you will support you, then don't delay and let them know as soon as you can. That covers the personal aspect of achievement, but there are other areas as well. It is important to get support and to develop a team of people that will support each other in achieving their goals. This has been documented as being a mastermind group, but what they are called doesn't really matter. It's how you utilize the group that matters. After you have solidified your goals, you will want to select people to help you along the way, but not to be selfish. Find others that know what you don't, and on the other hand, know not what you know. This may sound confusing, but just remember that you don't know everything, and you want to find people that can help make up for your weaker areas. Create an inner circle of people that you can bounce ideas off of, look to for advice, and advise them on their ventures. Remember Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz? You think she would have made it back to Kansas without the help of her mastermind? Just as you should be helping people with their weak areas, the ride to the top will be more enjoyable. And once you arrive, you will have people there with you. One final group, especially for those in business, are customers and the public at large. Whether you are providing a product or service, you need to create something of lasting value so that people want to keep giving you repeat business. Your success is never achieved alone, even when it appears so. The things you want to achieve do not materialize out of thin air. Mantras such as "the customer is always right" and "your customer is your most important asset" are to be valued and ingrained in your business model. To use a sports analogy, what's a sporting event without any fans? Just an empty arena and no vendors. After breaking down your obstacles and figuring out how to beat them, achievement and success come naturally. Most people cannot take their eyes off the intimidating big picture and break everything down nice and easy. Remember that great things are rarely accomplished by oneself. In order to achieve long-lasting success, you will need the help of others and the approval of your customers. Create a group of like-minded associates to advise you and give constructive criticism along the way. And do not be afraid to ask for help from family and friends, but heed warning that your ideas and goals are valuable and are not to be thrown around lightly. Achievement is not just getting what we want, but also getting ahead. It's difficult to advance our lot in life if we lack character. Character is the result of habits, but those with poor self-esteem may believe habits are the result of character. To the outside observer, this also seems true, and to some degree it is. After all, who would think a person that succumbs to destructive or poor habits could also have a strong character? To be clear, our habits do not always reflect our character, and here's why. The difference is in our personal perception of what our habits are. A person with a weak character will not recognize that their habits are bad, while a person of stronger character will recognize they are partaking in bad habits, but simply don't know how to change them yet. There are three things that contribute to our character and habits. Let's look at them and how they play a role. Heredity. While it is true that you cannot choose your family, it's also true that you can be aware of any influence they have. If their influence is negative, you'll have to be firm when they try to tempt you into bad habits. That doesn't mean you should stop loving them or ignore them, but be aware of their influence on you. Our families contribute to the makeup of our character. How can you get rid of the bad ones? It will take some effort, as you can't change your genetics. In a moment, we will look at other areas that are more in your control. For now, choose to focus more on your family's positive influences and downplay the negative ones. This way, you'll be thankful for the good traits you have inherited and be able to put them to work for you. Environment. When it comes to character, your environment can play a huge role. Environment doesn't just refer to your physical surroundings, but also your social. Physical surroundings have an influence on our habits and character, but not as big as you may think. Many great people have lived in terrible surroundings. War, poverty, and suppression were not able to stop some of the world's best people. They prove that your surroundings can actually build character by making you stronger. And this is where habits really come in. If you have poor mental habits, you can let subpar surroundings affect you negatively, using them as an excuse for failure. However, if your habits are strong and positive, you have the power to manifest great character. Just as a blacksmith uses heat to harden steel, so too can a great person use a bad environment to better themselves. That covers the physical, but what about our social environment? This is probably the biggest area of influence in our lives. Let's face it, we choose to hang around with these people. Take a step back and look objectively at who you think your friends are. Do they have the same moral compass as you? Do they encourage you to do things you know you really shouldn't? Do they ridicule you when you try to do better? Perhaps your friends are a good influence, perhaps not. Just look at your closest friends and you will get a good idea of the person you are now or will soon be. If that doesn't fit in with your vision of achievement, then you will want to broaden your circle of friends to include the right kind of people. Education. In this sense, education refers to the things we learn. Obviously, this means not limited to the things we learn in school. We also learn a lot from experience and circumstance. In a way, it's education that really molds our habits and character. And that's good news too, because you can also educate yourself to develop better habits and character. Reading is an excellent way to do this. Fill your mind with good things and put what you learn into action. However, you can also re-educate yourself by being open to new experiences. Ask yourself what you need to do to change a bad habit, or what you could do to build character. Often the answers lie within us if we are able to be honest with ourselves. When it comes to achievement, a strong and good character is vital. Habits, good or bad, are a reflection of character. Finding the areas of influence in your life will help you develop the character you need to move ahead. Success can be defined by all sorts of things. You can define success by money, happiness, your home, your family, your vehicles, or your status in your career. The truth is, success is defined by you. What you have to do to become successful is also up to you. Because you decide what is success to you, you have to decide when and if you will get there. To start out, You want to define success. At what point will you be successful? How much money will you make? How many children will you have? Will you even be married? How many promotions from success are you? What will you drive? You see, it's all up to you. You should put a lot of thought into what you consider success. Our world is a very materialistic world, and being so, most of us get sucked into thinking that we will only be successful when others tell us we are. This is a very important thought that you should extinguish. No one other than you should be able to tell you when you have succeeded. Only when you have taken the time to really think about what success means to you will you be able to truly find the happiness that comes with being successful. After you decide what success means to you, you have to decide what actions will take you there. Each little step of the way that you get to is another small success you should celebrate. No matter how far from or how close to your final goal you are, you have to celebrate each benchmark you achieve. When you do this, your brain subconsciously connects all the work you did to the pleasure of the success. After a couple of celebrations that are only about your success, you will grow to enjoy work more, because in the end, you know you will be successful from it. Here are a few guidelines you might want to consider when defining your success. One could be, to be truly successful means you have to do it ethically. Ill-gotten success will only leave a part of you empty, begging for more. There's no question about it. To most of us, this is not true success. Another guideline you might consider, your success must not be achieved at the expense of others. People will help you along the way, but success is more about reaching out than it is about moving up. Help enough people get the things you want, and you will make it to the top, and have a bunch of close and successful friends there with you. Achievement that moves other people ahead is even more success for you in the end. You also will want to make an honest assessment of where you are before you start defining success for yourself. Figure out where you want to be, then complete the steps needed to get there. This oversimplification has a lot of power. It is not a simple task when the gap between the 2 points is wide. You should take action towards your goal every day. You will have what appears to be failures along the way, but keep taking action. Learn from those you have done what you want to do. The old adage tells us we should learn from our mistakes. But if we want to be on the fast track to success, then learn from other people's mistakes too. This way, you learn from others and don't make mistakes that take more time to meet your goal. It's very important while on the road to success to have benchmarks as well. Benchmarks are smaller goals. Let's use an example. Say you want to make $1,000 a week, and you're currently at $100 a week. You should give yourself a set amount of time. 90 days is a great time frame for goals. The reason why is it's close enough to feel like you can't procrastinate, but far enough away to be able to achieve the goal. Anyhow, this is your goal, $1,000 a week in 90 days. Give or take, it's about 12 weeks. A benchmark for this would be a smaller goal that you could be happy with if you don't meet the main goal of $1,000 a week. For example, you want to use something that is 75 to 80% of the main goal. This would be $750 to $800 per week. This should really help you get started on the road to success. With all of these tips and guidelines, take your time to really figure your definition and then go for it. Setting goals for fitness and health. Health and fitness goals are certainly among the most common. After all, wouldn't most of us like to shed a few pounds or commit to something that would bring us the results of a fitness program? If this is you, here's how to go about setting goals for fitness and/or health. Begin by first deciding what it is that you want out of it. Do you want to improve your appearance, your physical skills, build endurance, flexibility or strength, or are you trying to lose weight? Make sure that the activities that you pick meet the goals for what you want to get out of it. Set yourself up for success. It's important not to destabilize your efforts with goals that are too long-term or impossible to attain. For example, I want to lose all my extra weight before summer is too unrealistic, particularly if you have a great deal of weight to lose and summer is just around the corner. Too often, goals are an end result of whatever program we choose and not a part of it. You have to make goals an active part of your life by creating goals that lead to the next goal. It is just like the backwards technique you may have already heard of. For instance, setting a goal to lose 10 pounds puts the goal at the end without putting too much pressure on you right away. You can add to this goal once it is achieved, and so on. Setting a goal to join an exercise class and attend it 3 times a week makes the weight loss goal a part of the program. You will have set a goal that is achievably almost immediately. This gives you a sense of accomplishment, which is an incentive to setting and achieving the next goal. Record your progress. Write your goals down so that you have something to look forward to as well as to look back on. To begin, map out no more than 8 weeks of activities towards your first fitness goal. Working within your lifestyle, decide on a regular program. It's not necessary to work out every day, especially when beginning a new program as your body is not used to the stress. Our bodies become tired if expected to do hard work 7 days a week. Exercising every other day is a safe and realistic goal. Keep track of how much time you want to spend doing an activity, followed by how much time you will actually spend on it. Not everyone is looking at fitness and health to lose weight. Perhaps you are just looking to better your health. We tend to focus most on the area of our health in our lives when our health is already failing or is less than stellar. Unfortunately, it may sometimes take a life-threatening event, illness, or some type of physical rehabilitation to give us a wake-up call to make tough changes in our current health habits. We try to follow through on sound health principles such as enough sleep, a healthy diet, and plenty of exercise, yet we may not have the time in our busy schedule or have strong enough willpower to implement a balanced and healthy lifestyle. With the pressures of the fast-paced world in which we live, stress can set in and take its toll. Many of us spend a lot of time away from home. What that means is that we are eating on the road as well, which doesn't always offer us the best or healthiest choices. Perhaps we are lucky to get 6, maybe 7 hours of sleep per night, while we now work at least 6 days per week. The old saying, "At least I have my health," is finally starting to mean something to a great deal of people. You might be wondering, what can you do to improve your health? Prioritize what is most important to you in your own individual lifestyle. The fact is, it doesn't matter what your fitness or health goals are. But be honest with yourself at all times when it comes to your personal goals. And as often said, you should also consult a doctor before making any changes to your diet or exercise regimen to ensure that you will not harm yourself. That's all there is to it, and continued success to you. Time management and how it impacts goal setting. In the last audio on goal setting, we started to talk about time management. Now that we have identified how time management skills affect achieving goals, let's go into this in a little more detail. 1. Shifting priorities and crisis management. Management guru Peter Drucker says that crisis management is actually the form of management preferred by most managers. What is ironic is that actions taken before the crisis could have prevented it in the first place. 2. The telephone. Have you ever had one of those days when you just had to answer the phone with "Grand Central Station, how can I help you?" The telephone, which can be our greatest communication tool, can be our biggest enemy to effectiveness if you don't know how to control its hold over you. 3. Lack of priorities or objectives. This is probably the biggest and most important time waster. It affects all we do, both professionally and personally. Those who accomplish the most in a day know exactly what they want to accomplish beforehand. Just ask Donald Trump. Unfortunately, too many of us think that goals and objectives are yearly things and not daily considerations. This results in too much time being spent on minor things and not the things which are important to our lives. 4. Attempting too much. Many people today feel they have to accomplish everything yesterday and don't give themselves enough time to do things properly. This leads only to half-finished projects and no feeling of achievement, as all the things are done in a hurry and appear rushed to others. 5. Drop-in visitors. The 5 deadliest words that rob your time are, "Have you got a minute?" Everybody does it. Colleagues, the boss, your peers, and your family and friends. Knowing how to deal with interruptions is one of the best skills you can learn. 6. Ineffective delegation. Good delegation is considered a key skill in both managers and leaders of homes and work. The best managers have an ability to delegate work to staff and family members to ensure it is done correctly. This is probably the best way of building a team's morale and reducing your own workload at the same time. The general rule is this: if one of your people around can do it 80% as well as you can, then delegate it. Procrastination. The biggest thief of time is not decision-making, but decision avoidance. By reducing the amount of procrastinating you do, you can substantially increase the amount of active time available to you. The inability to say no. The general rule is, if people can dump their work or problems on your shoulders, they will do it. Some of the most stressed people around lack the skill to just say no, for fear of upsetting people. Get over it, because these people can do it for you. Meetings. Studies have shown that an average professional person spends about 17 hours a week in meetings, and about 6 hours in the planning time and untold hours in follow-up. Most people know what they want, but have no plan to achieve it except by sheer hard work. What's the point in doing hard work when you don't know how to apply it? Your goals and plans should be reviewed daily, and they should also be adjusted regularly as achievements are met. Remember that successful people make lists constantly. Goal setting. Have you heard that you're 97% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down? The truth is that goal setting is important. In fact, it's without goal setting that you may never achieve the dreams of your heart. Every person in the world devotes countless hours to thinking of their future and their present situation in life. Almost everyone wishes that there was something that they could change in their life. Whether you dream of a new car, a boat, or even to be a movie star, goal setting is the important catalyst to your success. So let's get started, because in this audio, you will learn the fundamentals of goal setting, which begins with how to choose the right goals to focus on. Many of us are great at trying to set goals. Most of us are practically incapable of following through with them. Think about it. How many times have you decided on a course of action and simply didn't follow through with it? That's pretty much the norm for most people. Sometimes even setting goals at all is the harder part of accomplishing any. The easiest way of looking at this is to think of each and every New Year. What's the biggest topic of conversation every year on New Year's Eve? It's actually the resolutions. But most of us will only keep our resolutions for a short time. With each passing day and week, fewer and fewer of us stick to our plans, our goals. Sometimes setting goals alone is not the only problem that you must face. Sometimes choosing the right goals to begin with is harder. Basically, you can choose to work any goal that you feel is necessary for your health, stability, and happiness. Goal setting is nothing more than a formal process for personal planning. By setting goals on a routine basis, you decide what you want to achieve, and then move in a step-by-step manner towards the achievement of these goals. The process of setting goals and targets allows you to choose where you want to go in life. By knowing exactly what you want to achieve, You know what you have to concentrate on to do it. Goal setting is a standard technique used by professional athletes, successful business people, and high achievers in all fields. It gives you a long-term vision and provides you with short-term motivation. It helps to focus your attention and knowledge, which helps you to organize your resources. By setting sharp and clearly defined goals, you can measure and take pride in the achievement of these goals. You can see forward progress in what might previously have seemed a long, pointless effort. By setting goals, you will also raise your self-confidence as you recognize your ability to meet the goals you have set. The process of achieving goals and seeing this achievement gives you confidence that you will be able to achieve higher and more difficult goals later on. Goals are set on a number of different levels. In the first place, you decide what you want to do with your life and what large-scale goals you want to achieve. Second, you break these down into smaller aims that you must hit so you can reach your overall lifetime goals. Finally, once you have your plan, you start working towards achieving it. Why is it that some people almost always succeed? Here are 4 strategies to assist you to start changing the way you live your life one day and one goal at a time. In summary, they are: state your goal in very specific terms that you can accept. Plan backwards from your goal for the best results. Confront your fears and expectations immediately and progressively. Put your plan on paper and into action as soon as possible. Let's go through how this works. Your goal. Planning a career move is much like mapping your route for a road trip. If you don't know where you're going, you can't decide how to get there. But if you do know where you're going, you'll get there faster. Goals like go back to school are too general and not specific enough. You have to translate these goals into specific statements, such as enter a college accounting program by next fall, or for the next 2 months, search for work in the computer securities field. You have to know exactly what to do and when to go about it. Plan backwards. One of the best ways to move forward is to plan backwards. Start by asking yourself if you can accomplish your goal today. If you can't, why do you think that is? What do you have to do first? Is there something you have to do before that? Keep thinking backwards like this until you arrive at tasks you could do today. This will help you to attain the goal's starting point. For example, if your goal is to take a 2-year business administration program, could you start today? No, you have to be accepted to the program first. Could you be accepted today? No, you have to apply first. Could you apply today? No, you have to decide which post-secondary institutions to apply to. Could you decide today? No, you have to do some research first, and so on. I could do this all day, but you get the point. But don't worry if your list of things to do becomes several lists. Deal with your fears and expectations of yourself. Look over your list of things you will have to do to achieve your goal. Do you believe that you can do it? If you have doubts, take some time to think them through first. Are your expectations realistic? Have you succeeded or failed at tasks that were similar to this before? What can you do to improve your chances of success this time around? For example, if there's a good chance you will not follow through with your plans, you have to ask yourself why. Are you a professional procrastinator? If so, what can you do to make sure that you will keep going until you reach your goal? Are you afraid of failing? If so, work at improving the skills you will need. Or test the waters by taking an evening or distance education course before you sign up for the whole program. If you are having trouble identifying your fears or figuring out how to deal with them, talk to people you trust. Ask for their suggestions, but always make your own decisions. Put your plan into action from the to-do list. By this stage, you probably have more than one list of things to do, and if it is necessary, some plans for avoiding or dealing with potential problems. Now you need to put them all together into one comprehensive plan. You must list tasks in the order in which you must complete them and set deadlines for the completion of any major plans. Successful career planners keep themselves on track using a variety of methods, such as marking tasks on a monthly calendar, noting important dates such as application deadlines or action plans, making weekly or daily lists of things to do, and crossing off tasks as they are completed. Using a computer program to create timeline charts, which give you your time limits for task completion. Using a commercial appointment book or a notebook, even a Palm Pilot with a new page for each day or week. Use whatever methods work best for you. If it is absolutely necessary, ask a friend to check on your progress occasionally or question you on your successes because you're more likely to get things done if you know you'll be asked about it. Now you have learned a new way to set goals and follow them through. If you follow these 4 steps, there's nothing to hold you back.
Creating your vision board. Hello there. Today I'm going to be talking about a useful tool when setting your goals as mentioned in The Secret by John Assaraf. It is the creation of what is known by a vision board. Creating a vision board could not be simpler if you only know precisely what it is that you really want and are willing to make the effort. It's now time for you to find pictures, words, affirmations, photographs, or cartoons that represent to you your goals. It's also important that you find photographs of yourself in which you are in positive, optimistic, happy states. You will be sticking these pictures, etc., on your vision board, which is like a kind of collage of your goals and aspirations. It is important that you find these photographs of yourself because you'll be placing yourself in the vision board, hopefully doing the things that you really want to do, have, be, and achieve. Now, there are 2 ways that you can actually make the board. One way is to use a huge board and paste your pictures on it, or you can use a PowerPoint, Photoshop, or Keynote and create a board that you can print out. Now, this can not only be inspiring, but can be fun and exciting too. Each time that you look at your vision board and you activate your imagination to really see yourself achieving your goals, allow yourself to get into and enjoy the feelings of actually living out your goals in your mind, realistically, as if it is happening now, and thinking about and imagining what kinds of things you will be hearing on the outside, externally, as well as the kind of things you would be saying to yourself, i.e., positive self-talk. You will be powerfully programming your subconscious mind to take you effortlessly to the full and complete realization of the goals that you set yourself. It's important that you do not allow your vision board to sit around gathering dust. Rather, the daily study, the daily practice, and daily discipline of going back to your vision board, having it in a place where you'll see it at least twice per day. For example, on your dressing table or above or beside your bathroom mirror, will help you to realize your goals much faster, with less effort, and in positive, empowering ways. Continue to pursue this daily exercise of using your imagination to help you and your unconscious mind to focus on the achievement of your goals. In summary, make a list of your goals. Go out and find magazine pictures, photographs, including of yourself, and design empowering affirmations, words, or prayers that remind you in verbal format of what you're trying to achieve. Put yourself into a collage using what you have found, and you have a vision board on your hands. The fun part, and the part that is most left out of teaching about vision boards, is the vision part, or, as the author has heard it said by wealth mentor Leslie Feiger, Imagineering, because it encompasses not only visual imaging, but tricking the mind into believing that the goal you want to achieve is actually being achieved right now, in this moment. And this should be done daily, and each time should feel terrific as you experience yourself actually achieving your goals as a very real, imaginary experience. So allow yourself to have fun and enjoy the process of designing new life experiences that will enable you to have your dreams come true. Learning how to overcome self-sabotage. Now, most of us do not realize how powerful our subconscious is. This part of our mind has a huge influence on our actions and inactions. Many of us attribute our failures and lack of success to bad luck. We go on with our lives not fully aware that we have got anything to do with the events of our lives through subconscious sabotage. The truth is, we are the ones that create the circumstances that make us fail. What can we do to triumph over self-sabotage? The first step is to become fully aware of our fears and emotions. Once we are aware of the causes that lead to unproductive actions, we can then proceed to prevent these things from happening again. What happens when we inflict self-sabotage? Well, let's look at the repeated lack of success of so many people who say they want to lose weight. Most fail to get the outcome they aim for. What we need to ask is, do these people really want to lose weight? Even if they say so, they may actually feel secure with what they have. They may have doubts about what will happen when they lose weight and are actually frightened about it. Inwardly, they might feel as if losing weight will expose them. So even if they say they're doing everything to lose weight, they do not control their diet, neglect to exercise, and keep making excuses. Here's another example. A huge number of individuals fail to show up for interviews, including those that are offered highly desirable positions. They may have valid reasons, but their subconsciouses might have created these situations. Perhaps a stay-at-home mom decides she needs to return to the workforce to earn money for her family. What she really wants is to stay home with her children, but she feels obligated to get a job outside the home. So, instead of applying for the perfect position, she applies for jobs that she knows she's not qualified for, or jobs that require hours incompatible with her family schedule, so she has to turn down the job if it's offered. Subconsciously, that's her way of ensuring she won't have to leave the home, and at least she can say she tried to get a job. These people might have the subconscious belief that they do not deserve the outcome, mainly because they're concerned about how others will perceive when the new status quo is achieved. What they do is to unwillingly act such that they end up failing. Self-sabotage is unconsciously done, and even the saboteur does not know that he is just fooling himself. The doubt and uncertainty in their mind makes them do certain things that would ensure failure instead of success. And outwardly, they claim that they have done their best, but luck is not on their side. Does this describe your own behaviors in the past? Have you been your own saboteur? And how many times did this happen? If you're not achieving your goals, even if you are doing everything you think you are capable of then, think on it. The good news is that we can overcome this self-destructive behavior. The first and most crucial step is to learn to recognize that it is happening. And we can do this by developing the skill to be consciously aware of our emotions, thoughts, and actions. What you can do not is sit down and look back at the past setbacks that prevented you from achieving your objectives. Could you have avoided all those obstacles? If there are too many things that come up to prevent you from succeeding, then you might have unconsciously committed self-sabotage. A great way to get in touch with your conscious mind is by spending time in quiet meditation. And when you start doing meditation, you can ask yourself what your fears and uncertainties are. When you're aware of the discomfort and reservations that you have about a certain goal, write them down. Using a journal to write these questions and answers can help, because writing can help you to connect with the deepest part of yourself. It might take time and practice, but exploring these possibilities can dramatically help you to get out of the self-sabotage rut. Now, when we finally understand that we are in control of our own success, we'll be set free from all limitations. Once you achieve clarity, then you can focus your energy on more productive activities and finally end the cycle of self-destruction.
It's a common myth that success just happens to people. A lot of times, those who aren't successful begrudge those who have achieved a certain level of success. To reach full achievement, you'll have to get over any feelings that success and achievement are just handed to people because of who they are or luck. Such misconceptions about success that you may have, these ideas could be all that are holding you back, separating you from the success you want and deserve. In fact, it is probably better to use the word achievement in place of success because it promotes the idea of taking action and doing something. Notice the root of the word is achieve. Now, success doesn't really ever happen by accident to people, even though it can appear so. The idea of overnight success, or even the person who just so happened to pick an amazing stock in the stock market, are really nothing more than myths. Usually, it is the seasoned investor who has learned a lot and understands, even at a subconscious level, how to choose a winning stock that gets wealthy with stocks. not the guy who picks one at random. On the other hand, you do occasionally hear of people picking that one right stock before it increases in value, but it's so rare that when it does happen, it is newsworthy. Still, any such immediate success rarely lasts. True and lasting success has to be earned. It must be achieved for it to last and have all of the positive benefits it brings. Contrary to conventional wisdom, overnight success in the entertainment industry and politics are almost non-existent. We often hear rags to riches stories and accept them as truth without digging into the facts. These make for nice stories, as they show anyone can catch a lucky break. While these stories are often not true, when they are always the result of hard work, risk, and/or persistence. Not doing the hard work but reaping the rewards is a sure ticket to eventual failure. Any such success is short-lived and empty. Now, for those who somehow beat the odds and become an overnight success, it is possible to maintain that success, but only if they're willing to do the work needed to maintain it. Any worthwhile achievement will take a lot of hard work, but if you have the right goal, motivation, and reason, success will surely be found by sheer persistence. Yet it may not seem like work at all. You need to be able to look at things with the right perspective. You're no longer doing work for the sake of work. You're doing it to achieve something good that you desire, and in doing so, you will be exposing yourself to opportunities when they arise. It is often said that opportunity knocks only once, but the successful achievers believe it may knock twice, but they never know if they missed that first knock. Those who are massive achievers, the ones who have reached the pinnacle of whatever field they are in, are those who are not just doing it for the right reasons, but those who are able to recognize and seize opportunities whenever they present themselves. For sure, sometimes those opportunities may not pan out, but they may even appear to be failures. But what does the successful achiever do? They take whatever they can get from these apparent failures and move on, stronger and better equipped for success than they were before. They then start looking for the next opportunity and seize it as well. Oftentimes, they will seem to fail to the casual observer. What they are really doing is failing forward. Whereas the average person may see failure as something holding them back, top achievers find value in them. They keep trying, they don't give up. After all, they know what they want and they'll get it, and something as common as a failure isn't going to hold them back. It is these things that make people appear to be overnight successes. But those who are quick to label people as such are the same ones who don't want to do the hard but rewarding work that it takes to achieve true success. There is a concept known as guilt by association. This is an unfair way of assuming someone is doing bad things based on the company they keep. However, this concept has its evolution in some sound principles. Principles that must be understood for true success. Let's take a look at achievement by association. It's the little things that can add up. What we watch and listen to embeds itself in our subconscious. You can make your own choices, but often these things are experienced mindlessly. We hear a good beat or laugh at a sitcom, but never step back to understand what it really means. This is not being judgmental, just a fact. Nobody is telling you to stop watching and listening to the things you enjoy. Just keep in mind that one little lyric here or off-color joke there will eventually be expressed in our behavior if we let it go unchecked. Negative influences have a way of taking a firmer hold than positive ones. Do not look at this fact with a defeatist attitude, but rather as a precaution. You need to add much more positive input to make up for the negative. But the good news is that the positive input is more uplifting and will just make you feel better. One way to counteract these negative influences is to read positive books. This helps put more good stuff into our minds. If you can tip the balances in favor of positive input, then logically, that will come through in your behavior as well. The people you hang around with play a major role in your self-development. And this isn't just in your private social life. It also extends to the people you hang around with at school, church, and your career. Think about this. Do you ever wish people would stop gossiping so much? Then stop hanging around people that gossip. Seek out those people at work and play who are most likely to help you achieve the things you want. Mentors are those people that have achieved some of the things you want to achieve. They will guide you and give you advice, but more importantly, they will hold you accountable. This can have a very positive psychological effect when you are faced with negative inputs that are within your control. Having a knowledgeable mentor is priceless. There's one more thing that you need to consider when it comes to positive association, and that is yourself. More specifically, the things you tell yourself. It doesn't matter how much positive input you are giving yourself if you keep thinking it's nonsense, or you are somehow doomed to fail anyway. It seems fitting that the most powerful element of success is the one that nobody else can do for you. Why does this matter? Because reaching the higher levels of achievement is always met with obstacles. That's why so many people never make it that far. Once they encounter an obstacle, they quit. But if you have the right mindset, then you will welcome the obstacles because you recognize them as a sign of progress. Not only will you understand their significance, but your positive mindset will help you get beyond them without causing you undue stress. Just as listening to certain song lyrics or watching negative TV programs is a habit, so is turning to positive influences. You can begin achieving greater things once you understand how your everyday associations impact your life. As you add more and more positive input, you may find yourself saying or doing positive things you have never done before. When this happens, you will truly understand the power of mastering this skill. Get rid of the idea of guilt by association and start achieving by association.
Visualize the life you truly want. People who are successful often employ the visualization process. If there's something you truly want, you need to put that big brain of yours to work. Imagine what you want is right in front of you, or create the path to get there in your mind. Dream about what you want and create pictures in your mind that show how it all develops. You need to be in the proper mindset to do this, which can be achieved using the following relaxation techniques. Move to a quiet place where you can remain undisturbed for about a 30-minute period of time. Sit in a comfortable chair, back straight, and feet on the floor. You also have the option of lying down, although it is important that you only do so if you can guarantee that you will not fall asleep during this period of relaxation. And once you're comfortable, close your eyes and take a few deep abdominal breaths. Breathe in through your nose, allowing your stomach to push out slightly. The goal here is to loosen up the diaphragm so that more air can enter the lungs. Hold your breath for the slightest of moments before allowing it to slowly escape through your mouth, bringing your stomach back to its normal position. In order to ensure that the proper breathing technique is being used, place a hand on your stomach so that you can feel the movements. Taking the time to perfect your breathing will make your visualization process easier each and every time. In your head, count backwards from 25 to 1, breathing deeply as you do so. If you haven't reached a relaxed state by the time you get to 1, try again. Only this time, start at 50 and count back. As you perfect the technique, you might find that you don't have to start with such a high number in order to become completely relaxed. Once in this state, think of something that you already have, which could be anything from your car to your job, or even just the roof over your head. Pay attention to how your mind and body reacts to possessing something with such total certainty. There will be no feelings of stress or anxiety when you think of these things, just the pure certainty of knowing. Allow yourself time to get used to this feeling and to fully embrace the serenity of it. Perform this process on a regular basis, as this will allow you to transfer those feelings of certainty and trust when you imagine the things you want during visualization. And when you put in as much time as is required for you to visualize all the possibilities, you then need to switch to focus mode. In the moments before you perform the action that will deliver the outcome you hoped for, place the picture of what you are about to do front and center in your mind. Visualization works, but you need to be comfortable, in a calm state, and free from worries. The whole process is like meditation in many ways, except that your mind is totally active. Visualization encourages you to use your mind and imagine all the possibilities that lie before you. Meditation, on the other hand, requires you to basically cast all that aside and focus on a single thing. Rid yourself of negative people in a way that makes you feel good. Why is detoxing to rid yourself of negative people important? Those that carry a permanent air of negativity will be the ones who will stand in the way of your goals. They will talk you out of doing things, planting the seeds of doubt in your mind as they go. Being constantly bombarded by negative energy can drain your energy levels, bring with it stress and anxiety. Now, positive changes cannot happen when you inhibit a negative space. Allowing the toxicity that negative people bring to seep into your veins will stunt your opportunity for personal growth and success. And when negative people are removed from your life, it opens up space that positive people can move into, bringing with them encouragement and support. The process of detoxifying negative people from your life. Step 1. Come to the realization that you are worth it. If you want to achieve goals and become a better person, you need to believe that you can do it. Cutting loose the anchor of negativity that is pulling you down will help you get where you want to go that much faster. How do you come to this realization? Start by making an active choice to commit yourself to what it is you want from life. Don't let anyone stand in the way of that. If there are negative people in your life, ask yourself the following. What sort of effects are those negative people having on your life? What are your goals and how much do you want them? Are negative people stopping you from reaching those goals? And step 2, identify the negative folks. You start to feel worse the moment you start talking to toxic people. They suck all your positive energy and leave you feeling miserable. They will quickly shoot down any type of idea you suggest. And they will question everything you say or do. Try to convince you that making a change will be the worst possible idea you've ever had. It's not always easy to spot when you are doing this, as they will sometimes make it sound as though what they are saying is positive. And what they are really doing is filling your head with doubts and do nothing but make you feel totally insecure about yourself. You need to learn to identify when this is happening, as it is the only way you will spot the negative people that need to go. And step 3, get them out of your life. This can be done in any way that you think will be effective. Ignore their calls and steer clear of them. It's okay to be apologetic for your actions, but you do not need to defend what you're doing. Do not resort to rudeness or hate, but rather let them go with love. You may even allow them back into your life if they're able to get rid of their negativity and adopt a new attitude in the future. Step 4. Don't give in to guilt. Remind yourself that you are worth it, and don't give your actions a second thought once they're done. It may feel as though you are abandoning these people, but that is simply not the case. You're merely letting them go so that they can find their own way, and you can find yours. You might even have tried to help them in the past with kind words and encouragement, but all to no avail. Now, there comes a time when you have to cut your losses and move on. It's up to you to do what's best for yourself, not others. And it is human nature to grow and change throughout your life, with many people falling out of your life as those changes hit. And step 5, prepare to be positive. Replace the toxic people with those who are positive and willing to be supportive of your goals. These people will offer words of encouragement in everything that you do, even if some of those things are a little scary or risky. Positive people are up for and willing to try anything, and they are the ones that usually succeed when they try.
How to finish what you start. In the last audio, we started to talk about some of the destructive aspects of procrastination and why we procrastinate. Today, we will identify the three major types of procrastinators. It's true that busy people can be the worst procrastinators. Every time to speak with them, they are busy, busy, busy. Always in a hurry, they are constantly rushing around. In some cases, the reason is that subconsciously it makes them feel superior to be doing many things. But in reality, they are simply poor managers of their time. They are inefficient at time management and often highly disorganized. If this is you, then it's very important to take an inventory of what you're doing and to improve your organization and time management skills. However, time management is not the cure. Telling a procrastinator to buy a day planner is like telling someone who is dressed to simply cheer up. However, improving one's organizational and time management skills are completely doable tasks. For example, do you understand the subtle difference between doing things right and doing the right things? If you always seem to have no time and never seemed to be accomplishing your goals, then you are probably not doing the right things. The cause of this is that you are likely task-oriented and need a little shaking up in that area. Dr. J.R. Ferrari is the co-editor of Procrastination and Task Avoidance, Theory, Research, and Treatment. And other researches have shown similar patterns in habitual procrastinators. The three types of procrastinators are arousal procrastinators, are thrill seekers who get a rush from leaving something until the very last minute and then working like a whirlwind to complete the task. The second is avoidant procrastinators. They are insecure. They shirk because they fear failure. The final type is decisional procrastinators. They seemingly can't make a decision, and in their mind, not making a decision absolves them of the responsibility of the outcome of events. There are big costs to procrastination, and the biggest is usually your health. Colds, headaches, stomach issues, and neck or back pain are just a few examples of the health costs that procrastinators pay. They lead very stressful lives, and procrastinators tend to consume more alcohol among those who drink. It's another example of coping mechanism that is in place to disengage from the feelings of stress and avoidance.
Increasing time management skills for achieving goals. Effective goal setting begins and ends with time management. You need to balance your time in the best way possible in order to achieve your goals. Most of us fail to achieve goals because we lack the time. That is why this audio needed to be included in this e-course. We're all pretty busy, aren't we? Whether we're a child, a teenager, young or old, it seems that time becomes more precious with each passing year. But it seems that instant coffee, drive-through fast food, and microwave ovens haven't solved any of that. The concept of time management has been in existence for more than 100 years, believe it or not. Unfortunately, the term time management creates a false impression of what a person is able to do. Time can't be managed. Time is uncontrollable, and we can only manage ourselves and our use of time. That is all that can be done. Time management is actually self-management. For effective time management, we need the ability to plan, delegate, organize, direct, and control every aspect of our lives just to find 30 minutes a day that is devoted to something productive that is just for us. There are common time wasters which need to be identified. In order for a time management process to work, it is important to know what aspects of our personal management need to be improved. Otherwise, what is the point in trying? Here is a list of some of the most frequent reasons for reducing effectiveness in and around our lives. You might want to make note of the ones which are causing to be the major obstacles in your own time management. These are referred to as your time stealers. Identifying your time stealers. Interruptions, for example, the telephone or television. These are also distractions. Interruptions, for example, guests or children. Meetings. Tasks you should have someone else do for you. Procrastination and indecision. Acting without total information. Dealing with other people's issues or problems. Some sort of personal crisis, for example, a family member is sick or injured. Unclear communication. Inadequate knowledge. Unclear objectives and priorities. Lack of planning. Stress, anxiety, and fatigue. The inability to say no to anybody with a request. Personal disorganization. There are quite a few, aren't there? Fortunately, there are strategies you can use to manage your time in a better way and be more in control and reduce stress, but you can analyze your time and see how you may be both the cause and the solution to your time challenges. In the next audio, you'll find out how to deal with time stealers and combat these obstacles to achieving your goals.
Defining your big picture, dreams, goals in life. I woke up one morning asking myself what I could do to improve my life and benefit the world. Have you ever heard the phrase, "The purpose of life is a life of purpose"? It's both interesting and essential to understand that nothing in life can start until you get started. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. The fun in discovery comes from the excitement of exploring the unknown, the uncertainty and doubts faced when on a journey. Now imagine you're an explorer looking for an uncharted land. You have no idea where you will go or what the outcome will be, yet you know that there is something out there for you. Just be brave and journey on. And when you do, you'll notice what a great discovery it is. It's not just the physical things you've found, but also what you've discovered about yourself during the journey. From today onwards, let's all make some discoveries about how beautiful the world is, and finally discover more about ourselves. Everything starts from nothing. That's the creation process. From one dream, anything can be brought to life. The manifestation of one dream has the potential to create a whole new world for you. This challenge for you is, do you believe that one dream can change your life? Do you believe that one dream can change the world? One man had a vision of a workstation running his software on every desk and eventually in every home. That guy was none other than Bill Gates, the founder and CEO of Microsoft. His simple dream was manifested in the form of an American multinational computer technology corporation, and today he is a billionaire because of it. Here's another example. Two PhD students at Stanford University, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, began a research project in January of 1996. Their dream was to organize the world's information and make it universally acceptable and useful. Together, they produced the world's first and best search engine on the Internet. Today, Google's net worth is estimated to be at $350 billion. Again, a simple dream not only changed the lives of two students, but revolutionized the Internet's usage around the world. So what is your dream? Your mind is free to create anything you want to, as long as it resonates with your heart. How many of us have actually been giving thought to this and creating new ideas to make them come alive? Unleashing your creative powers. Have you noticed that whenever humans are faced with a crisis, they always find a solution? There's never a lack of resources, only a lack of creativity. Today, we're going to talk about your mind and the creative process. The very first thing you can do to help yourself is to ask. It's that simple. In the Old Testament of the Christian Bible, the words of Jesus perfectly capture the essence of this idea. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be opened. So here's how we can start. Think about a few problems that you are currently facing and ask some empowering questions about them. Instead of asking, "Why is it happening to me?" or what did I do to deserve this, you should instead ask, how can I solve this? How can I make it better? When you ask an empowering question, you tap into your creativity and start looking for a solution. When you ask a disempowering question, your mind starts looking for answers to why you have this problem. That, however, doesn't help you. I want you to try this quick exercise in order to tap into your creativity. Now you have to think of as many uses as possible for a paperclip in 5 minutes. In our workshop, it was amazing to watch a group of 9 people generate over 80 uses for a paperclip in just 10 minutes. Once you're done with this exercise, I'm sure you will be shocked by how many ideas you were able to come up with in such a short period of time. Now that you've started to ask and think, you've set your mind to focus on attracting new ideas and opportunities. No idea is too crazy to be realistic. Now, let me illustrate with the following example. Whoever thought that humans could fly? We don't have wings, yet we have the airplane. Whoever thought that humans could stay underwater for hours without coming to the surface for air? We lack gills, but we've managed to create the equipment needed for scuba diving and submarines. Whoever thought that we could combine a Walkman, camera, and mobile phone together? We did, and now we have smartphones which can be carried easily in the palm of your hand. All of these started off as crazy ideas. So get ready to be crazy about your dreams and turn them into reality.
Useful time management strategies. In the second audio in this e-course, procrastinators that are busy people. In fact, busy people can be the worst procrastinators. Every time to speak with them, they are busy, busy, busy. Always in a hurry. They are constantly rushing around. In some cases, the reason is that subconsciously it makes them feel superior to be doing so many things. But in reality, they are simply poor managers of their time. They are inefficient at time management and often highly disorganized. You can sit down and analyze, read a dozen books about self-motivation, and even talk to others about it, but it all counts for nothing if you don't take practical measures. As a matter of fact, you have made tremendous progress fighting procrastination by listening to this audio series so far. If you have completed the course in 5 days, congratulations! If you are listening to this after 5 days, shame on you. We have covered a lot on procrastination, but I have a suggestion on how to apply these things into real life. One of the most practical applications you can do is to write down a to-do list. A list of things to do each day and week is a valuable aid to managing your time and eliminating inefficiency. What it does is that it helps you organize your thinking and planning into a sheet of paper. When you write things down on a list, your mind becomes focused, like the example of the archer above. Your subconscious mind starts formulating strategies and creating solutions on how to solve your problem because it is narrowed down to something small and easy to read. I have already said everything that I can say for now. It is all up to you to make that decision, and that decision is to overcome procrastination once and for all. Take action now, and don't procrastinate. It's time to take your life back. Why is procrastination destructive to our lives? Procrastination is subtle, really subtle. The way it works is so subtle that it eats away ferocious amounts of time and we don't even realize it. How innocent it seems to let time slip by. We deceive ourselves into dealing with it the next minute, next hour, or the next day or month. Somehow, we always feel that it will somehow get done by itself. Yet, at the end of the day, there still isn't enough time to get things done. We know that life gives us its fair share. 24 hours a day to the rich, poor, famous, invalid, busy, or lazy person. Time is fair in the sense that we have the choice to do exactly whatever we want with our 24 hours. You get only 24 hours, not a second more or less. What makes procrastination so deadly is the fact that life is full of sob stories on how people had such a wonderful plan and a great idea that somehow never came to life or conceptualized in the real world. Imagine if Albert Einstein procrastinated and decided to write the theory of relativity much later while he played with his dog now, assuming that he had one. Or if Thomas Edison decided to invent the light bulb once he has got things out of the way. Perhaps today we will still be using candles. This is just a hypothetical example, but you get the idea how destructive procrastination is. Procrastination must be dealt with. Period. You have to be very clear in your mind what the destructive efforts of procrastination are and how you must deal with it now, not later. In the next audio, I'll talk about the general mindset on how to deal with procrastination. Dealing with procrastination, what we are up against. It is a good thing that you have decided to deal with procrastination by listening to this audio. Of course, if you have procrastinated, you won't be listening here right now. Yes, it is true that procrastination is not easy to deal with. I understand that it is also very tempting to listen to the first audio in this series and then listen to the others later. Unfortunately, later always turns into the present, and as we feel the pinch of the present, we try to come up with another later to make ourselves feel better that we will get things done eventually. This disruptive cycle continues until we run into serious problems involving broken relationships, lost income opportunities, or even death through sickness. It is indeed very scary to think about the destructive aspects of what the effects of procrastination can have on oneself. The interesting thing about procrastination is that procrastinators aren't born. They are, in fact, made. What's the difference between a successful person and a procrastinator? The successful person has learned to deal with procrastination. So in essence, every single one of us are procrastinators. So, why do we procrastinate? Really, it comes down to one very simple reason. We don't want to do it. The solution lies in convincing your mind that it is pleasurable to do those things we are avoiding. The only difference between a highly successful person and a heavy procrastinator is that the first one knows how to deal with procrastination more effectively. That's it. Overcoming procrastination is something absolutely anyone can learn. In the next audio in this series, we'll get started. We will identify the 3 major types of procrastinators and how to begin to overcome procrastination.
Discovering your why. You can have many goals in life, big goals, small goals, health goals, financial goals, etc. But just having a goal is not enough. It doesn't guarantee that you will manage to achieve it. You can try achieving your goals with willpower, but that's not sustainable. What you really need is a why. A why so big that it gets you out of bed in the morning and keeps you up late at night. A why is the reason behind the goal or dream. Firstly, what does it take for you to get excited about life? How do you reignite the flame of passion, excitement, and joy? What excites you? What do you love to do? What do you find joy in doing? Take about an hour off from the hustle and bustle of life. Sit at your favorite, most comfortable spot with your journal in front of you and play some light music in the background. If you had all the money, time, and energy in the world, what would you do with it? Pen down your thoughts and let them flow. Keep dreaming and writing everything that comes to mind. Think bigger and bigger without placing any boundaries in yourself. Now, there are no limitations. Feel the joy in the moment and smile. Find the excitement of seeing yourself being, doing, and having anything you want. And once you have a bunch of ideas written down, start looking for repeating themes and begin crafting the big dream of your life that you want to achieve. Something powerful that would inspire you whenever you think about it. Once you have your big why, you can start setting smaller goals to help you reach it.
Dealing with procrastination, what we are up against. How do we deal with procrastination? First, we must be very clear that procrastination is a symptom of many flawed characteristic traits. There is no action in the world that is taken without any form of motivation behind it. However, most motivation can be summarized into two forms: gain motivation and prevention motivation. In other words, prevention of pain. It is a crazy mind game, but somehow you will find that most people are able to motivate themselves in ways that allows them to defy the odds and accomplish great things. They have 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and 1 mouth. What makes them normally different from the rest of us? Motivation. No one procrastinates something in and of itself. There is a reason behind everything. There are many forms of motivation that I can share about now. One of it is by doing something that you enjoy. Most people who are struggling with starting a business, for example, find that the more their business is focused on their favorite hobby, the more they will work hard at it. Working at something you like doesn't feel like work. People drag themselves out of bed every morning to go to work, but wake up extra early to head on to the golf course. Why? Motivation. Find what motivates this mindset.